about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
All right, another day, another Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver coming at you here, rocking the mic. At least I like to think so most of the time. But another fun-filled episode of your favorite motorsports radio show. Doing a little bit more than just motorsports as well, but this is episode number 348, which means we are only two away from the magical number of 350. Still trying to figure out what we want to do for a guest list for that one. But today, no shortage of an epic guest list. We have my good friend, Mr. Antron Brown, just celebrated his 50th Top Fuel win. That doesn't even count all the ones he has on a Pro Stock bike. But Antron Brown, he is going to be on the show today. Always fun catching up with AB. And it's a little bit different interview, though. It's actually like 40 minutes long. And this is a national show. We don't have 40-minute slots. But you know what? It is episode number 100 of Project Action this week. So you're going to get the first 14 minutes of the Antron Brown interview. And then if you want the rest, tomorrow, Thursday, if you're listening online or on iTunes or in national syndication, it's already out there. But we are going to drop the entire thing in its entirety in episode number 100 of Project Action. So you have to go check out my other show for the whole thing. But still, the first 15 minutes are epic, and it's going to make you want more. That's the goal of it, right? We've also got my good friend, Sara Price. She's going to be here talking off-road, hoonigans, and a bunch of other shenanigans. And we've got Midwest Short Course League points leader, Michael Meister in Super Buggy. He's going to be on the show as well. Not only that, we got some big NASCAR news. Yeah, we're talking NASCAR today. Who would have thought? And a whole lot more. So hang tight, strap in. It's going to be a fun one today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
the Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. It's more than just...
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and got a fun-filled episode coming at you today. Lots of amazing guests here. Michael Meister, Antron Brown, Sara Price. But before we get to that, we'll have Michael Meister and Sara in hour number 1. Antron Brown, that's hour number 2. Got some. We're doing a Dirtfish Rally Report, talk some silly season. We've got a lot to talk about today. So if you got any questions, want me to touch on, I got lots of stuff to talk about. You know me, I can talk. So hit me up. It's at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. That's the one I monitor while we're live on the air. Also on Instagram and Facebook, but it doesn't make the conversation very good when you're doing a live show. Twitter's much better for that. So if you're not on Twitter, you need to go back to it. Just saying, man. Twitter is going to have a resurgence. I'm calling it. They're the only one that hasn't gone to all this craziness. Facebook's garbage now. Instagram, it's getting there. Twitter, like they're old faithful. They just keep trucking along. And I swear, Twitter and YouTube in 2019, those are going to be the two that make their resurging. YouTube's already kind of bouncing back, but I'm telling you, Twitter and YouTube, they're blowing up in 2019. My predictions. But speaking of blowing up, that's a good segue there for what I'm going to talk about next. NASCAR. We never talk NASCAR on the show. I know it's like taboo. It's like the one thing we rarely ever talk about. We're talking about it today because it's some stuff we got to talk about. NASCAR CEO Brian France takes indefinite leave from NASCAR. You know why? Well, it's because this past weekend he got pulled over, blew through a stop sign, got a DUI and drug possession charges. Wow, that is not good when you are NASCAR and your CEO and chairman are popped for stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. You would think, like to me, like seriously, this dude, he's rich enough. Why doesn't he have a driver? Like, I mean, I go out to the bar and I have a few beers. Like, I'm smart enough to have a friend that's sober drive me home. Or, like, seriously, why does some guy with millions and millions and millions in the bank, why is he not having somebody drive him around? And on the flip side, why is he driving a Lexus? This guy could drive anything. Why a Lexus? Like, seriously, Lexus would be like on the bottom of my list if I had that kind of money. I don't know. But anyways, I don't understand why this guy doesn't have a driver. It's a massive shakeup, man. You don't want to be a company and have your CEO and chairman literally in trouble for felony, you know? I mean, it's legit. He's going to spend some time behind bars, rightfully so, you know? It's one thing I don't have any patience for is DUIs, like seriously. That is the one thing. Driving under the influence, no way. Yeah, just saying, it's bad. So there is that. I don't know, you know, you gotta not envy NASCAR right now, you know. And in this interview with Antron, we get to in hour number 2, we talk about why NHRA is making its resurgence and things like that. But NASCAR, man, I mean, you know, Monster's pretty much said after next year they're done, they're pulling out. You know, they've gave notice, bought NASCAR a year to find a title sponsor. Ratings are in the toilet. And I don't know if you guys listen to not my Project Action, the Daily Drop, Down and Dirty Show Daily Drop, which is our new daily, like 5-minute long news podcast, all motorsports news. It's like boom, bam, to the point. We talk a lot about TV ratings every week and dissecting what's going on. And IndyCar up, NHRA up. I mean, I think even like IMSA is up. But then you've got NASCAR in there consistently year over year, lower. Every single event, lower ratings. It's not just Cup. We're talking Xfinity, everything, you know. So there's that. You got guys losing sponsors. I mean, Truex, your champ from last year, dude just won the ESPY award, and he's losing one of his major sponsors. Like, if a guy like Truex can't keep a sponsor, you got a problem. So you got TV ratings in the toilet. You got sponsors pulling out. You know, fans at the track, they're just not showing up anymore. And then on top of all this, NASCAR's still trying to sell, like, nah, man, we're great. We're good. Come on in, invest in us, watch us. This is rad, which it's not anymore because of multiple reasons. And I actually solved those in the podcast last week. How would I fix NASCAR? That was one of the questions. But, like, you know, they're pitching all this to sponsors and to fans. Hey, come on in. We're awesome. Come back. I don't know why you left in the first place, but we are the best motorsport ever. And then you got the boss man who gets popped for drinking. And controlled substance is what it is. Drug possession charges, oxycodone, which basically like super high-power painkillers. So, you know, it's not like he was snorting coke, but I don't know that oxycodone is any better. I mean, I've had some, you know, I've got some people that I know close to me that have used that stuff and got hooked on it, you know, like had a back injury, they prescribed that, and then it's tough to get off of it type of thing. So, I mean, it's some powerful stuff, and if he was driving under the influence of that, whoo. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just a bad situation. If things weren't dark at NASCAR, they are super dark right now. But you know what? Now they got a new boss man, and that could be a good thing for NASCAR. Maybe having a France behind the wheel up there isn't a good thing anymore. Like maybe they need somebody from the outside to come in, like a new group of people, rethink this whole thing called NASCAR. You know, repackage it for today's motorsports fan, because we all know things have changed and nobody's got 5 hours to kill on a Sunday anymore to watch cars go in a circle, maybe 2 hours. And, I've always said, I keep Daytona 500, Coke 600, have a few long ones, great, but not everything needs to be an endurance race. Like, I'd like to see these dudes have a shootout, 200 miles and just boom, like, gas on, game on. They're going to make stuff happen right away. Even like 150-mile shootout, you know what I mean? Something like that, like do something crazy. I don't know. That's just me brainstorming, trying to solve the world's problems. But NASCAR, not a good day for them. Brian France gone, and it is definitely going to change the landscape of NASCAR for a while. So it makes you wonder, too. They said he wasn't at it. This happened the evening after the event. He wasn't at the event. Like, you're the CEO of NASCAR, and you don't even go to the races. Like, man, I mean, he's going to go to the big ones like Daytona, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But it seems like the only time we talk NASCAR on the show is when we got something bad to talk about. And it seems like that's more often than not. But we do have to give a shout-out. If we're going to talk NASCAR, we got to talk about Chase Elliott. Here's a kid I like. I like Chase Elliott. He got his first career NASCAR Cup win, and you got to tip the cap to him. He's been really, really, really close, and you might want to say maybe screwed out of some victories at this point. But Chase Elliott breaks through, got his first career NASCAR Cup win, and I like this kid. I like him a lot, and super pumped that Chase Elliott got his first victory there in NASCAR. So, and generally it's one of those like Clay Milken in NHRA, right? He had all those IHRA wins. He got his first NHRA win, and it took him forever, He finally got that last year, and then it was like, boom, floodgates open, all the wins come in. It's like you get the monkey off your back, and then it's like, boom, you're just slaying. So Chase Elliott got his first career NASCAR win, and that was definitely some big news. So big shout out to him. And so I don't know. I think we've talked enough NASCAR for today. We do have some silly season stuff to talk about later on in the show. Just stuff all over the board. We got a lot in action motorsports for sure. But, that was just some big news. Anytime we're on this show and we lead with NASCAR, you know it's a weird day. Like, when was the last time we ever led with NASCAR headlines on the Down and Dirty Radio Show? Never? Well, it happened today, episode number 348. So 348 episodes in, we're leading with NASCAR. Oh, God help us. Who knows where we're going with this show. But we're going to take a short break. We come back. Michael Meister is going to be here on the line talking Midwest Short Course League, his points lead, currently going into Bark River this weekend. So hang tight. It's going to be a fun rest of the show here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, and we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, joined on the line by Midwest Short Course League points leader, Michael Meister. How's everything going, Mr. Meister?
It's going really good, Jim. Thank you.
Oh, good to talk to you, man. And sorry, I just messaged you about the backup lines. I don't know if this phone line drops or something. Just call that backup line. We've been having some wonky stuff this week happen, so just fair warning. So it's not on you; it's on us if something does happen. But dude, good to have you on finally. I mean, wow. Guess we're getting ready for Bark River this weekend, that's one of the, I guess, iconic Midwest short course ones. But you are on a roll, man. I mean, kind of take us through this year, because I know last year you were the points champ, and then coming into this year, I mean, you as a Midwest guy, I mean, how has this whole change been for you guys? I mean, from Torque to now Lucas. I know there was a little bit of a gray area. People were nervous there for quite a while, but it seems to be like everything's clicking off pretty solid for you guys now, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. Bark River is probably one of my favorite tracks for sure into the Midwest Series, and I've been looking forward to it ever since we started this year. But the changing from Torque to Lucas has been seamless. It's been going great. Everybody's super nice, and it's actually really nice. You can just go from one series to the other with just a couple little changes. We went to Wheatland, it's been a month and a half ago now, and it's been really fun. The tracks, the people, the competition's been really, really good this year. We've had a few guys into the Super Buggy class added, and Bark River is very different from any other tracks. You start out with a little loam on top, and then it just flicks away, and then you're just searching for traction, going left and right, back and forth, and you got to be very throttle finesse with just trying to find the fast line around the track, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, and I've never actually been to Bark River. Friday, I guess, will be my first time actually at the track. I mean, I'm very familiar with the track, but it looks just so different than most other tracks we see in short course. I mean, it looks pretty long, but it's just, like you said, there's so many turns and changes and things like that. I mean, it's got to be kind of interesting for you guys. I mean, do you have to change anything setup-wise, track to track on your super buggies or gearing? You know what I mean? Whether you're running like ERX or Crandon. I mean, do you guys change anything, or it's pretty much, you might tune the suspension a bit? I mean, what do you have to change on super buggy?
Yep, what we do mainly is a little suspension back and forth, and at times, if we have the time to, we get our transmissions re-geared. And a lot of the times, the way I have to do it just with the one transmission I have is to just use what I have, and for the most part, it works out pretty well. And at Bark River, you have a ton of elevation change, and you just got jumps that, like the big jump, you just kind of leave the ground and you fly 150 feet, and it's just something totally different from a lot of the other tracks, and it's a lot of fun for the spectators. You can see pretty much the whole track from the grandstands, and the whole area is just a lot of very spectator friendly for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It looks awesome, man. Hey, we're starting to get, and it's totally on our end, some static on this phone line. Can you drop off real quick and call that backup line I sent you, just so it comes through and I know it's crystal clear?
Sure thing, yeah.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, bye.
All right, yeah, it's starting to get a little bit robotic there in his voice for you guys tuning in live. So we're just going to have him call the backup line. We're going to get this thing locked in nice and clean for Mr. Meister, and that way we don't have to worry about it. But, hey, you there, man?
Yep, I'm right here.
Oh, dude, crystal clear. Should have been using the backup line from the beginning, but no, it was all good. And then, right at the end, you started just a hair, it was like a robot or something. I'm like, nah, Michael isn't a robot today, so we'll switch lines. But solid, man. But yeah, well, and how is it? You talked about going down to Wheatlands, man. I mean, this has got to be kind of exciting with you with this merger, and then especially looking at next year. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, you dominated. You dominated last year. You're dominating this year. Not to say you haven't had competition, but that's got to get you kind of excited. Like, hey, man, maybe we're going to get some of these more of the West Coast guys out, and we're going to be able to mix it up with even more guys.
Yeah, definitely. It's really fun to mix it up and race with a lot of the West Coast guys. I've had the opportunity to do that a couple times. We went out to a regional race back in March, and I actually ended up blowing a motor before racing actually started. But Wheatland was really fun just with everybody. I was consistently a top 5 within the times, and we just had a little trouble. We ended up, we were running third the first day, and then I got taken out kind of just by the first couple guys dicing it up, and we just bent an arm. And then the next day I blew one of my gears, and then I just had to salvage a fifth overall. And it was really good. It was really fun, probably the most fun I've ever had racing my buggy, just with the track and the venue and everybody else. But I just purchased a house, a lot of stuff going on right now, and I felt like this was one of the last years where I could really pound out some of this racing, and to be able to race with everybody and be really competitive. If I'm not doing it as hard as I can, I don't see the hard point in doing it, and I've just been having a blast, and we've been working our butts off along with running our own business and whatnot. But everything's been going great so far, and I look forward to the next couple of races of our series.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're one of those guys. I mean, I call you blue collar racer. You're like me. I mean, you got a day job, and then in the evenings or your day off or on the weekends, you guys are wrenching on the car trying to get it ready to go to the next race. And it's like you got to work during the day to fund the racing habit, right?
Yeah, for sure. One of my primary sponsor is Ponson North America, and it's a logging equipment company, and they sponsor me. But then we run the equipment, and they've backed me 100% since day one within our business, and then the racing. And we do this during the day, a long day in the woods, and then I'm back in the shop. And the last couple of weeks have been pretty hectic. You get home at 10 o'clock, and then you have dinner or whatnot, and then you got to do it all over again the next day. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I really like it, the support between my dad, my girlfriend Caitlin, and then Brad Shear. He's my pit guy, my best friend, my spotter, and everything. It's a close-knit group, and it's awesome.
Yeah, well, and, talking about, super buggy, and I think a lot of people see them, and man, I like for what they are. You guys are so ridiculously quick, and I know it's all about power to weight and things like that. But I mean, talking about those, I got to think, because you guys are very much a momentum-based class, and you missed a shift or something like that, and you're done for a corner or two until you can get your speed back up. But I mean, I got to think like traction comes into play, like tire choice and things like that, and the way they're grooved. That's got to be almost crucial for this class, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. And I actually got to wait till practice kind of to see what kind of groove we want for our tires. But yeah, the traction is very crucial for the super buggy. Then the momentum around. You just can't lay into a corner and then you got to get the motor back up from bogging. You just got to keep it ringing out pretty much on the rev limiter the whole time. But we're running, like say at Crandon or something, we're running just as fast as some of those truck classes, and it's crazy. I've had a very short time in the short course world. It's only been, this is my third year, and I pretty much just got into it with that. Before that, I was just racing the RC cars, and I grew up into that in the years. And then we've been around the off-road racing community, mainly in Crandon and Bark River and stuff like those tracks. And the opportunity came up. There's a couple buggies for sale from one guy, and we hopped on and we found the right people to kind of get me going. And I kind of hit the ground running to begin with, and I got my first win, I think, a couple races in, and I really haven't looked back. I'm enjoying the heck out of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, and you won the championship last year. You got a good battle going on. You're leading the points this year. I mean, a couple rounds left. We got Bark River, we got Crandon, but you're talking about next year buying a house and taking some time off. I mean, do you think it's one of those where you'll run part time, maybe like the big Crandon weekend, or pick a couple of rounds, next year?
Well, I guess we got to see and wait till see how everything goes, but. The buggy is for sale right now, but I'd really hate to see it go. But if anything, yeah, we might do just every couple, or just kind of see how everything goes. As being that there's everything going on right now, it's just a lot to deal with. And once we kind of get more of a budget in, things might change as well. So we just got to see. But yeah, there's only a couple of rounds left to go, and you got to be you got to make sure everything's tip-top and no failures. Otherwise, you're pretty much out of the points championship, and that's really tough with only 4 weekends of racing for us this year. But I'm sure by next year it'll change. The series is growing tremendously, and I think things are looking up for the off-road community between the East and the Midwest, or the West Coast and the Midwest.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man. It's things are definitely looking up. I mean, if I got to ask this before I let you go, but if you were to sell this buggy and then decide to come back, I mean, are you going to come back in a buggy, or would you eye like a Pro Light or something like that?
Well, the truck would be an absolute dream for sure, but as far as the work and stuff that it would take, I think I'd be more or less leaning towards a UTV, but we got to see how everything goes to begin with, too. But, yeah, it would be fun regardless of whatever I came back in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend. We will see you this weekend at Bark River. I know we just got done calling the TV shows for Crandon, and we're just turning into like the Michael Meister show. So I'm hoping we get to continue that theme on at Bark River this weekend, man.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much for getting me on.
All right, no problem, buddy. Take it easy. We'll see you this weekend.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Jim.
All right. Bye, buddy. All right, that was Michael Meister, your Super Buggy points leader in Lucas, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you, but you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, joined on the line by my good friend Sara Price. How is everything going, Miss Price?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Everything's been freaking awesome. It's been a whirlwind, just kind of a jack of all trades, juggling things around in between races right now. So just waiting to get back in that RPM off-road truck and take on the Tijuana Desert Challenge coming up.
Yeah, you got the Tijuana Desert Challenge coming up. I know I was trying to think of last time we caught up because might have been right after you got this deal. I mean, what, you're a year and a half into this thing now? I mean, how has things been going? I mean, you've been in a bunch of different types of vehicles, especially UTVs, things like that. I mean, how's this move been to trophy truck spec for you? I guess 6100, they call it trophy truck light. I don't know. There's a million different names for the class, but how's this move been for you in figuring this whole thing out?
Oh, man, I'm beyond grateful. I have the best team behind me, RPM Off-Road, and then the best truck builders, too, Geyser Brothers Performance. So we have an incredible team just established to be able to help me kind of get the swing of things and just jump in it and try to be competitive as fast as I can. And our first race this year was at the 250. We didn't have the best of luck. We had a lot of issues with our truck. But we never gave up, and we ended up finishing seriously with a flashlight in hand an hour from timing out. And it was insane. But I think it definitely showed that me and Erica, my navigator, are beyond dedicated and willing to put in whatever it takes to make it to the finish line. And then we kind of just, we're going with our paces and trying to learn, what's the pace? Are we going too slow? Are we going too fast? Are we going to start braking? Are we making mistakes? No, we're not making mistakes. Let's bump up the speed a little bit. And so after some testing and more time in the truck, we finished the 500 and started ninth. We got into second place physically by mile 150, I think, and we ended up fifth overall because we had both of our fuel pumps go out, so we struggled with that for a long while, but we Ironwomaned it, and we finished the race in 14 hours and 46 minutes, and we got a fifth place finish underneath our belt for our first ever 500.
And I had, I think it was my first ever 500 I finished, and it actually might have been fifth place. No, I don't know. I think seventh. It was in trophy truck. I can't remember. But I'm just trying to think back. But I remember Kurt Leduc came up to me at the finish line, and he goes, "Is this your first Baja 500?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "The finishing position doesn't matter." He's like, "If you finish your very first Baja 500, he's like, that's saying something." He's like, because it's so hard to finish the Baja 500. He's like, there's so much stuff that happens. And I'm like, that's a truth. Especially when it gets to be night, there's stuff that happens in Baja you can't even explain, So, for you guys to get a fifth, I don't care about the position. That's just legit to finish that one.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm with track that year, I guess. I've been down to Baja and chased for and pre-ran some, but that track, I guess, everyone was like, this is by far the most brutal 500 we've ever came across, and there was new sections that had never been ran on, and we pre-ran. It was me, Erica, Justin, Matt, me, and Kellen, who all kind of pre-run together. And so there's sections that I'm in, usually a 10 car or my Polaris Razor pre-running, and he's in his pre-runner truck. And there's sections that I was like, how are you able to make it around that corner? I'm struggling in my vehicles. And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, this is going to be a tough one. But there was this one section after Mike's Sky Ranch that it's off camber, and it's a super sharp turn at the top. But I can just see it turning into a bottleneck, and everyone just getting, caught up right there just because it's off camber. And I remember coming up, so I was like, oh, this is that turn, and then nailed it. And I was like, woo! But it was a good feeling to get through the course without any issues besides just, a truck issue here and there, which I guess it's acceptable sometimes. And we've been that truck hadn't been ran for a while, so we've been working the kinks out of it. And guys has really been working with us in RPM on making her 100% for Tijuana and the 1000.
Yeah, well, in Tijuana, that's a different That's a little bit different animal. It's more of a sprint race, It's a little bit quicker, higher pace. Like, that'll be kind of fun for you guys to do. It's, you've been doing this endurance racing. It'd be kind of nice to run something like a short sprint where you're going to be like 100% from the get-go.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to actually, not have to focus on, saving things so much, because that's been a whole new learning curve for me. Since coming from short course, you pretty much, obviously driving smooth is always beneficial in everything, but it's, now I have to think of, okay, well, I can't be able to take this many hits that many times, so I got to kind of find this happy medium and go into the Tijuana Desert Challenge, since it is kind of more of a sprint. I'm excited to actually get the chance to really kind of drive that truck and perform at a fast pace.
Yeah, well, and, I know you're still bouncing around doing a bunch of stuff. I know, we were up there last year at Mount Washington, saw you race for the Hoonigans, but I know you're still part of the Hoonigan crew. You got anything working with those guys? And I guess guys and girls, I should say. But I know I see once in a while you post up, you're hanging out with my friends over there, and just seeing if you guys maybe, I know they launched, another driver search this year, opening it up to both guys and girls. But, what's been going on over there with you and Hoonigan?
Yeah, I always have stuff in the works with Hoonigans. We're always brainstorming ideas, and, I've been really busy just with my businesses lately, that it's been kind of like haven't had too much time to go hang out at the donut garage. And I went down there a few weeks ago, and they're like, "We miss you." I was like, "I miss you guys." And so we did some videos for the new launch of the competition, the Hoonigans Wanted. It's the second season of it, and it's females and males. And this time, they don't get to race the rally car, which I was kind of like, oh, that sucks. But then they get a free car in the end. They get a Fiat 124 to take home. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's rad. Tell them, hey, you owe me a car from last year. Like, hey, I'm waiting for delivery.
Yeah. Hey, Brian and Ashley, can I get one of those too?
Yeah. About last year, Scotto? Yeah.
I actually do. I need a real drive drift car to start getting, I don't know, just to go have fun and stunt around in, just for all the stunt work I've been getting, because I'm a dirt girl. I need to get more on that street life.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's rad. I know I've got the big truck, F-350 I haul with and everything else, but and you got to have it just to do whatever, go out to the desert or haul the rig to the race or razors or whatever, but I've got that Subaru, that all-wheel drive STI, 300 horsepower, stick shift, all-wheel drive. That car, it gets a whole lot better gas mileage than my big rig. But, that thing's great when I go to, SoCal for meetings, because you can park it in anywhere. But it's just a blast to drive. It's so, I feel like everybody needs two cars, at least us dirt people. You got to have, the one little car that's, just fun to go out and burn off the tires. And then you got to have the one rig that, you go out to the desert in or whatever.
Yeah, I just bought a Ram 2500 diesel, and I have a big old beast now that's my DD lately, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I need a little car too, just to go back and forth to LA, because I've been getting a lot of stunt work lately, and I've been super grateful, and some of these jobs I'm like, man, I wish I really had a car to practice this a little more before this or that, or just getting to kind of do things and experience new things. I really want to get my fair share of time drifting, and I'm determined to find a car to do that.
Yeah, that's what we ought to be like. That ought to be a new series. Sara finds a car or something like that. I'm just already thinking there's some old Mustangs that have ton of horsepower, rear wheel drive, and you can get them from next to nothing now. There's so many rad different cars you could choose from. I mean, it's holy crap, we could have some fun with this Sara Price.
You really can. I even think about that all the time. I'm like, should I go about this and get a salvaged car and just make a really cool, drift car, race car out of it? Or do I get, a newer car where I can also put a handbrake in it and go play in it, and also use it to go, to LA and back? Or, which way should I go about this?
Yeah. See, that's one of those audience questions, right? Chime in, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what Sara Price should buy.
Yeah.
Do one of those Instagram polls or something like that. Comment
below.
Yeah, comment below. What should Sara Price buy? Oh, too funny. So, what else is cracking with you? I know you got some razors in the garage. I know I feel like we haven't seen you in a UTV. That was like, you kind of, I don't want to say that puts you on the map because you got the whole pro motocross career thing going on for you that we don't talk about rarely enough. But yeah, like I feel like I haven't even seen you in a UTV in a while. I'm like, man, this is like people associate you in UTVs and we haven't seen you in one a bit.
I know, it's been a while. I haven't really raced one since King of the Hammers this last year. And you bet I'm going to be at King of the Hammers next year. I'm getting some units from Polaris now to start building a really cool UTV to do so. And yeah, the most I've done in the UTVs lately is we've been logging tons of miles in them down in Baja. Like, I'm not even kidding you. For the 500, we put almost 3,000 miles logged, I want to say.
Wow.
Or between the 250 and the 500, we probably have done 3,000 miles, and a lot of that was in a Polaris Razor. So, yeah, they've been getting a lot of time put on them, that's for sure, from Baja.
Yeah, well, you and Erica, you guys just bombed down. It's great, though. I just razors, and this is not me wearing the corporate hat, but like they're so awesome because like here in Parker, it's my daily driver when the weather's good. But
yeah,
you can just literally you can go pre-run in them, you can go out and play and have fun. I can drive them down to the river and make a quick trip, you know what I mean, down there to jump in the water. Like, they're so universal. Like, it's so, I don't know, they're so awesome, especially in Arizona where they're street legal. It's just like it's game over, you know? People just buy them as their second car.
Yeah, my dad's actually, my parents are like your new neighbor, and, well, kind of, Havasu. And my dad's been on to me like crazy. He wants one of those Polaris Razor S's so bad. And he's like, I just want my Razor already so I can make my trip to McDonald's in it. I can go to the river. I can go see Grandpa, go back to the house and do whatever he wants. And so, yeah, he's excited to get that treatment of Arizona because we don't have that here in California.
I know. And it's crazy. Like, literally in Arizona or in Parker and Lake Havasu, like he said, like everybody, that's just dry, especially in the wintertime. Summer, it's too darn hot, you know. But, like, in the wintertime, that's half the people are driving around city streets. Just crazy.
It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
They should have just a Razor Day where no cars are allowed, only Razors.
Oh, it wouldn't be. It's most days, to be honest with you, at least in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So what else is going on?
We'll just put ramps out in the intersections.
So what else is going on before we let you go? What else you got coming up?
Just a Tijuana Desert Challenge. We'll be filming for the Hoonigans Wanted coming up soon. So I'll be making a trip out to a desert somewhere. And then also just a lot of like promotional shows and stuff where I'll be taking the Razor around and meet and greets with people and getting ready for the Tijuana Desert Challenge. Aside from that, I have some really cool things in the works that hopefully I can share sometime soon. That will be either TV related or YouTube related, so we don't know which way yet. And kind of goes along the lines of opening everyone up to not just the racing side of my life, but also the business side that kind of gives me the opportunity to go racing. So as you know, it's not always about being, it's about being the jack of all trades, right? You got to be the racer, but you also have to be the business person, the marketing person, and the good person, and the person that the fans can talk to. And so it kind of highlights those things. And, you know, I have my auto paint business, and I have 4 girls that now work for me, and they're all racers themselves. So it's pretty freaking cool.
That is, yeah, you're definitely killing it. Always fun catching up. Mentioned show season. I know I got to have a Razor on display at Sand Sports. You going to be out there at Sand Sports too?
I will be out there at Sand Sports. I'm working out the details now, so stay tuned and just, you know, log onto my social media and kind of keep tabs on where I'll be there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sarah. Always fun catching up.
Good seeing you guys and good talking.
And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty radio show since 2012.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
All killer and no filler is right. Great hour number one here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Well, I guess Torque Champ last year, Lucas Points leader this year, Michael Meister, Sarah Price. Just a fun show. Talked a little NASCAR to start things off. But speaking of the show so far, we'll talk about it here in one of the upcoming segments, but I'm already starting to get chimed in on Twitter about Miss Sarah Price and what kind of cars she should buy. So if you've got any ideas, at Jim Beaver 15, tag Sarah. I think it's at Sarah Price MX on Twitter. Be interesting to see what you guys come up with as far as cars for Sarah Price to buy. So far, it's some pretty interesting stuff that's chiming through. So hit us up. Let us know what you think Sarah should buy. Hour number 2, we've got Antron Brown, an interview with him. That is going to be just a portion of the full-length interview. Antron and I sat down for well over 30 to 40 minutes. I can't remember. But it's Project Action episode number 100 this week. That is my other show. It is on Podcast One. You can subscribe on iTunes. Check it out on my website. But you guys, if you want the full-length one, you're going to have to go check it out on Project Action, and it is well worth the download and the listen. I love Antron Brown. That dude is he just kills it in everything he does, including interviews. So, and make sure and check us out on the web, downanddirtyshow.com. We got a ton of content that we drop there each and every week. Make sure and check it out. We're talking off-road. We're talking rally. We talk, IndyCar, NHRA, you name it. We're dropping all kinds of content there, and always fun. But we're going to take a short break. We come back, hour number 2 here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, and we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Man, what was I going to say there? It's not often I come out of a break to kick off hour number 2 and complete blank, and it just happened, complete blank. But hour number 2, we got Antron Brown. Amazing interview with him coming up. It is a big long one, so we're just airing the first portion of it today. You can get the other part on Project Action, episode number 100 coming up here, I guess tomorrow, if you're listening here live. If you're listening on demand or in national syndication, it's already out there. Just go over to iTunes or Podcast One or downanddirtyshow.com. Get that full length Antron Brown interview. And so that's coming up. We've got some silly season to talk about. That is right. Motorsports silly season already in full effect, and we are going to be breaking that down for you here coming up shortly. And then we also have a big Dirtfish Rally report. Dirtfish, I guess the America's Rallycross series has been in action there in Canada over the weekend, tied in with World Rallycross or Rallycross RX. So we're going to break that down, talk about all the news coming out of there, some other stage rally news as well. So, we got a lot coming up in this second hour, but I do have a lot of time for fan questions. So if you guys have questions, hit me up at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, and I can, I can definitely get to those fan questions in the show today. Love answering questions, and, we can definitely knock those out. So got plenty of time in this second hour to answer them. So if you got fan questions, I know I've got a couple of them in the bank that you guys have asked that I haven't answered yet. But if you wanted me to talk about this Desert Racing Invitational, anything coming up, man, hit me up, let me know, and we will get it cycled into today's show. That is for sure. So easiest way to do that, it is at JimBeaver15. And I got to ask you guys once again, if you haven't already, please go over to iTunes. Even if you listen on demand on my website, subscribe to the show on iTunes. It's going to be the easiest way to get it. But if you subscribe on iTunes, you're also going to get my new daily show that comes out 3 times a week. It is 5 minutes long, but it's called The Daily Drop, Down and Dirty Show Daily Drop. We hit on all the headlines in all of motorsports. So the easiest way to get that is to subscribe on iTunes. And please leave a rating and a review. Even if you don't leave a review, just leave a rating and, 1 through 5 stars. Much appreciated. So, it helps me out. Definitely does. But we're going to take a short break. Come back. Dirtfish Rally Report here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right, and I am back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Man, it's going to be a bit of a packed couple of weeks for me. I'm just getting done with some TV over there, doing some TV for Lucas Oil, some voiceovers for Midwest Short Course League. The Crandon episodes, those are coming very soon. We'll keep you guys in the loop on that. Heading to Bark River this weekend for some great racing there at one of the iconic short course venues. And then back to Parker 2 days later, Vegas to Reno, the General Tire Vegas to Reno. So, man, it's going to be a good one. And I know we got some questions on Vegas to Reno already, some off-road questions. We'll get to that in the next segment. Stoked you guys care enough to ask some of these questions. So we'll get to those here shortly. But before that, we got to get to a Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. If you're looking for a discount up there at Dirtfish, it is JB Dirtfish. That'll net you 15% off any and all classes at Dirtfish Rally School. My boys Antron Brown and Steve Torrance just up there over the weekend having a absolute blast. I talked with both of them as soon as they got done, and man, those guys were glowing ear to ear. It's just crazy, what Dirtfish can do for any drivers. It doesn't even matter your discipline. Everybody can take something away from Dirtfish. So always fun to send guys like that up there and then talk to them directly afterwards and find out what they thought, because it's always same story but just different wording. It's a ton of fun. But yeah, getting to rally, one of the big ones this year. One of the big off-season news, I guess, was this new America's Rallycross. As we all know, Red Bull Global Rallycross, for one reason or another, Jalopnik's got plenty of stories on it. It went away. And so, it left a void, and I think a lot of teams like Steve Arpin and Subaru running, what are we going to do here? So they teamed up with the World Rallycross Championship, or FIA. IMG kind of runs things over there for Rallycross RX and such. But they teamed up with them, put together this America's Rallycross. So had the opening round there at Circuit of the Americas, amazing facility. They're running now at not opening round at Circuit of the Americas. It's the opening North American round. They actually had the opening round at Silverstone. Then they ran at COTA. They're up there in Canada now. There's going to be a round at the Nitro World Games. I don't know if it's public or not yet. Like Steve Arpin, everybody's talking about it, but I haven't seen a press release. It's like, what in the world? Like, if this is still a secret that America's Rallycross is running with Nitro World Games, it is the worst kept secret in all of motorsports. Like, seriously. I haven't seen a press release on it. It's not on the website. It's not on the calendar, but it's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening. So Nitro World Games, and then they're rounding things up with COTA, tying it in with the World Rallycross event there at Circuit of the Americas. I will be on site. That's the end of September, so it's going to be rad. I mean, World Rallycross, America's Rallycross, I'll be there doing radio, doing interviews and such with the teams. So, hit me up if you guys plan on going out. I know there's actually a lot of old GRC fans that are going to go. I will be there. No, I won't be on the mic. I won't be doing TV or anything. I'll just be there hanging out, having a good time, enjoying it, and doing some driver interviews. I know I got to catch up with Petter Solberg at some point. My boy Andreas Backerud. I got to circle back with him. I haven't talked to him in years. So lots and lots of guys I need to catch up with that I haven't in a long time. So that's going on. But, I don't know. This is a kind of a rebuilding year for Rallycross in the U.S. GRC had kind of taken things in one direction and built it up. And, especially socially, and the media content that they were producing was top notch. And now this is restarting, right? This is GRC 5 years ago, starting from the ground floor. I know a few fans, I've had a lot of people, hey, where do I tune in? How do I watch? You got to follow them on Facebook. They post up and follow their social feeds and keep in the loop. As their following grows and things like that, it'll get easier to find this information. They were up there in Canada, running at Trois Rivers in Quebec. One of the big ones is Jacques Villeneuve, Formula One world champion. He's also an Indy 500 champion. He came and was racing for Subaru Rally Team USA. Massive news. Anytime you get Jacques Villeneuve behind the wheel of a car, it's big news, especially in Canada. So Jacques Villeneuve, he was competing up there for Subaru. Didn't make it out of the semis, it doesn't look like, but ended up your top three were Scott Speed, Tanner Faust, and Mr. Ken Block, 1, 2, and 3. And then your current points there for Supercar. I still call it Supercar. I don't know what they're calling them. But, I guess it's America's Rallycross, and then lights are ARX2. I don't know. I think GRC kind of coined the terms, and it's kind of, they're just going to be called what they're going to be called. People understand when I say Supercar. But current points, Scott Speed out front, Tanner Faust in second, Patrick Sandell in the third spot in his Subaru, and then Ken Block in fourth. So Volkswagen and Andretti continuing their dominance there. And, there's been a lot of whirlwind talk around this Volkswagen and Andretti. They've been dominating rallycross the past couple of years. Obviously, Ken Block is done solid when he's competed here in the States with GRC and now with ARX. And, same goes for Steve Arpin. There's been a handful of drivers that have that have competed, but, with Volkswagen, but they've just been so consistent. It's hard to break that, And so I know with the Beetle, talk about this generation Beetle going away, is Volkswagen going to remain? They've got, different things that need funded in other areas of the company globally, just all kinds of turmoil, and it's like with this new ARX and the TV package isn't quite as good as the one in the GRC had. It's like, are they going to stay around? And the most I can say at this point is I haven't heard one reason why they are leaving yet. I haven't heard they're leaving. So this is all just, I think, fan-created rumors at this point. But, as far as I know, Andretti's sticking with Rallycross. I know they were a big part of helping make this new America's Rallycross happen, them and Volkswagen. So I don't see why they would check out after the first year. So, but anyways, points leader, Scott Speed, Tanner Faust, Patrick Sandell, 1, 2, and 3. Then you've got Block, Atkinson, and Steve Arpin, your top 6. Looking at ARX2, Connor Martell, my boy Connor, walking away with another victory in lights. You got to wonder when Mr. Connor Martell is going to make his supercar debut. It's got to be coming. This kid, next year, I'm saying in 2019, this kid's going to be wheeling a supercar for somebody somewhere in the world. He's that good. He's continued to just win. And at some point, you can only win so much in lights until somebody goes, we just got to throw this kid in a supercar. And it's to that point. It was like Mitchell DeYoung. He just dominated, At some point, you got to be thrown in, and I think that's going to happen. But he took another victory. He's your current points leader in lights, or ARX2 as it's called, in America's Rallycross. Christian Brooks in second, James Rimmer in third in the points. But then this was a joint event with the World Rallycross. And looking at World Rallycross, it was Johan Kristoffersen taking a victory. Timmy Hansen in second, and Sebastian Loeb in third. It was Matthias Ekstrom, Petter Solberg, and rounding out your top 5 there. And Petter's another one, man. We've never had him on the show. I know Petter. We follow each other on social media. I need to get Petter on when I go to World RX in Circuit of the Americas, that's for sure. Looking at points right now in World RX, it's Kristoffersen out front, Loeb second, tied with Hansen with 140 points, then Backerud and Solberg 1 point behind them. So second through fifth place, only 1 point separates them. And then you look back at sixth place, and he's only 6 points back total. So it's crazy bananas happening, but Kristoffersen has just been dominant so far in 2018. So, that was kind of what happened up there in Canada. Obviously, we got Nitro World Games, and we've got World RX there at COTA for America's Rallycross. Those are coming up on the America's Rallycross schedule. So definitely looking forward to those. I know. We've got a few stage rally events coming up as well. We've got, the one there in Minnesota. Absolutely love that. Ojibwe Forest Rally. So that one's coming up there here in about 2 weeks, I think. So, I don't know, lots of racing coming up in the rally world. But we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking some silly season, some rumors, taking some fan questions. So you let me know what you want to talk about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and silly season in full effect in motorsports. That is right, silly season. It's still early, and things are already going bananas. I don't even I don't even know what to say. It's just kind of getting nuts. I know. The thing is, people don't understand. Like for somebody like me, I think a lot of people think so 2019, all these major companies put their budgets together like right now. And I think a lot of people think, oh, in October I'm going to go try and get a sponsor, or November, December, even January, I'm going to get my sponsorship lined up, for this year. Like in January, they start going, hey man, I need to get my, need to get budget ready, sponsors, whatever. Dude, it's too late. I started working on 2019 back in March and April. Seriously. So it's just one of those things. It's if you're in this industry right now, it is silly season. I mean, we're still knee deep in a lot of these, halfway through some of these series, and we're already looking at 2019. It's forward looking. Literally, as soon as the green flag drops to the start of 2018, everybody's already planning for 2019. It's crazy. It's just the way it works, though. Antron and I talk about that in this upcoming interview quite a bit. I think he and I jump all over the board, and I know we're not going to get all of it today because some of it is in Project Action episode number 100 that you guys are going to have to download on iTunes or Podcast One or my website. But seriously, it's silly season for sure. So, we got all kinds of news and rumors and stuff like that, but I do want to get to a few things. We had, Sara Price. We had her on air, in the hour number 1, great interview. Always fun catching up with Sara, but we had this conundrum about what kind of car she could buy, her, quote, street car. She got the big truck. She needs, just a car to jet around in and stuff like that. And I talked about old Mustangs, things like that. So our friend GRC fan Paige, she goes by. She's going to have to change her. She's going to have to change her handle because it's no longer GRC. It's going to have to be ARX fan Paige or something like that. But anyway, she goes, "Hey, Sara Price MX, heard you on the Jim Beaver 15 show talking about what used car to buy. I say get a used 2000s Pontiac GTO, 400 horsepower, and they don't cost that much, or an older Toyota Supra. 2000s Pontiac GTO. She's not talking Fast and the Furious Vin Diesel type of GTO. She's talking Reese Millen Formula Drift GTO. And I got to tell you, those things were the look of them, I mean, they weren't the raddest looking car, but the performance was crazy good on those things. Literally 400 horsepower, had a stick in it, and it was rear wheel drive, and those things lit the tires up. There's a reason why Reese used one in Formula Drift. I don't know what they retail for. Actually, we're gonna pull this thing up right now as we're live on air, because I want to know, because like literally I forgot about that car. I forgot about it. Pontiac GTO cost, boom, or for sale. Let's see here. Pulls up Kelly Blue Book. I don't care. I just need a ballpark. I'm just curious what the heck these things are going for. 16 grand for an 06. That's not bad. These things with Pontiac going away, and they didn't make a ton of them. I mean, these things, they're rad cars. 16 grand, that's not bad for a GTO or an older Toyota Supra, man. It's Toyota Supras. We're talking OG one, like 90s Toyota Supra, early 90s. Yes, please. I'm thinking like back the original, like remember the original Need for Speed video game before they got all crazy? I'm talking the PC game way back when. We're talking early 90s. They had maybe mid 90s. It was they had Acura NSX, which is another rad car. The OG ones. I'm not talking about the new ones. Toyota Supra was in there. Both of those cars, yes, please. I don't know what a Toyota Supra goes for, but those things were rad rockets. So I don't know, GRC fan page, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I bet that Supra's in the same ballpark as a GTO, like 15 grand. Like I would take either one, like right now, yes. So I don't know. Those were some good suggestions from Miss Price. You tagged her in there. Good job, man. Hopefully she'll probably text me, be like, whoa, I never thought about that. So I'm on board with that page, so you got my endorsement on both of those car picks. And I think the Acura NSX, those ones are about 30 grand for the OG ones, 25, 30 grand, something like that. I don't know. But good choices. Also did get a fan question from you guys wondering, actually two, we talked about that Desert Racing Invitational. It's a trophy truck invitational, 30 guys going to be competing. And I have had a lot of people ask me, hey, are you going to be in it? Are you mad you didn't get picked? Like, here's the deal. I'm not mad I didn't get picked. And to be honest with you, I've got a trophy truck. It was Parker in 2017. So February of 2017 was the last time I raced. And I finished, but it was the last time I raced in a trophy truck. So for the last 18 months, that thing's been parked. And yes, it is. I'm bringing it back out. It's darn near prepped. It's almost ready to race again. I got to get another wrap put on it. But I wouldn't have got picked because I haven't raced in 18 months, man. It's like, it would be like, Greg Biffle getting pissed off that NASCAR didn't invite him to the All-Star races last year. Like, Greg Biffle's a talent. Could he win that? Absolutely, but he hasn't raced in 2 years, so he's not going to get an invite. That's kind of me with this deal. Now, if I race next year in 2019, you know what I mean, the whole year, or pick 3 or 4 races and I finish and do all right, well, I would absolutely expect to be invited in 2020. But, at this point, like I've been out of the truck for 18 months, and you got guys like Steve Strobel or Billy Wilson who have actually competed. They run up front. They're running full-time, and they didn't get invites. Like, if I was them, I'd be pissed. But for me, no, man, I'm not pissed off about it. There was no reason for them to invite me because I haven't been in the truck. So, if I was racing full-time, it'd be a different story. But I'm not, so no hard feelings, man. I would love to go out there. I'll be out there one way or another to watch, support it. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a TV or announcing job for it or something like that. But no hard feelings at all for those guys. Like super pumped on the event. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins that thing. And it's going to be interesting to see how many of the guys entered actually show up and race that, or they get pulled off and, do other things. So, very, very excited about that. Other questions was going to be about Star Car, Vegas to Reno. I've had a ton of people ask, who's going to be the drivers with you? Who's going to be the drivers with you? I'm racing Vegas to Reno. I'm on the entry list. It won't be a Star Car race, though. It was going to be, but for one reason or another, it didn't. That doesn't mean Star Car's going away. It will definitely be back next year, but I am racing Vegas to Reno in a Razor, but it's just me driving, man. I'm racing for the win. Yeah, my brother, I'm going to do the first 300 to 350 miles, and my brother's going to do the next 200 to 250. Yeah, that's kind of where things are at. So I will be racing Vegas to Reno in a Razor, but yeah, no star car at this one. Just me racing and dropping the hammer and going for the win. So looking forward to it. To be honest with you, it's definitely going to be. A fun ride. So follow that along. We got some actually big news. Look Friday on social media dropping about that, and then my PR will be coming out Monday. But I do have something even bigger about Vegas to Reno involving me, but I can't talk about it yet. But I can on Monday, or actually next week on air, but Friday. So watch social media. Yeah, getting to silly season. Lots of stuff happening. I know if you're a Formula One fan, Daniel Ricciardo doing something that nobody thought he would even consider doing. He went to Renault. Nobody saw that coming. Everybody thought he was going to stay with Red Bull. I know McLaren was courting him. It would have been a decent seat. They're struggling, but it would have been a big money deal. But him going to Renault, man, shocker, especially this early on. So that, I guess that kind of derailed some of the silly season news. Yeah, I mean, the big one is Alonso. Is he going to come to the United States? Is he going to run IndyCar full time? We've been reporting on it on the Daily Drop almost daily. There's some kind of news around this. Him, McLaren, Andretti, there's this big circle of craziness. Harding Group is getting involved in it now. There's a big ball of craziness right now happening in IndyCar and Formula One with Alonso, McLaren, and Harding and Andretti. And it's like, man, I've heard rumors every which way. I have no idea which way is up at this point. It is wild. Do I think Alonso will be in IndyCar next year? For some reason, I would love him to be. I don't think it's going to happen. Is Alonso going to be in IndyCar at some point? Absolutely. I just don't think it would be next year. If Ricciardo would have went to McLaren, I would have said yes. Ricciardo didn't. They need a flagship driver at McLaren. Alonso will stay put until they get a replacement flagship driver, in which time he will switch gears to IndyCar, and he will be competing, for that Indy 500 win full-time in the championship. So I don't know. There's just so much around that. And then we got to give, before we go to break, man, I ran out of time on this segment. Big shout-out to Ron Capps, win number 60 in NHRA in Funny Car. So big weekend for Don Schumacher Racing with Antron getting his 50th as well. So we're going to take a short break. We come back. We got Antron Brown here on the line on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
All right, I'd like to welcome my guest to the line this week, my good friend Antron Brown. How is everything going, AB?
Jim, man, everything's going great, man. It feels good just to get back on them train tracks and getting going in the right direction like we knew we always could. But it's just so awesome after Northwest Nationals for everything that's to come to fruition, just to pull out that win. Man, I'll tell you what, our Macro Tools, U.S. Army, Toyota, Hanksford, Pennzoil team is just ready to rock, man. We're ready to rock. The countdown's around the corner. Competition is rough and tough, but it feels good that we're hitting our stride at the right time.
Yeah. I got to say, I think you may have just set a record, another record, man. You had, I think, like 6 sponsor plugs in 3 seconds or something. That's got to be some kind of a record there, buddy. Like, you slid in everybody, and it was just in a handful of seconds, man. I've seen a lot of guys drop some sponsors, but I've never seen one drop that many in that tight of time. I mean, that's tip of the cap to you, man. You're setting records left and right.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. You got to be smooth with it, man, smooth with it. You can't give them the grocery list, but you got to throw them in there because at the end of the day, that's all the people that support you and help you be able to do what you do out there on the racetrack, and they do, you know what I mean? So much kudos to them. It's been a long time I got to say them like that, you know what I mean, especially after a win. So it did take us a year to make it happen, but in retrospect, like, you know, we had a brand new team pretty much, you know what I mean? Like we had most all the same crew guys, but people moved to different positions. Then we worked on some parts and pieces that we had some parts failures in the beginning of the year. Then on top of that, we implemented new clutch disc into our program. And then we got a whole different engine combination that we're running that we evolved to from our teammates from the U.S. Army car. So with that being said, man, we've done a lot in a little amount of time that we've been working on it.
Well, and, you know, and here's a question for you, because I know we caught up, what was it? I was out there at Pomona, but, I mean, pretty early on in the year, and, you know, you were pumped on this year and everything else, and, I mean, you know, you knew there was going to be, you know what I mean? Like you said, it was, I don't want to call it a reboot year, but you knew, you know what I mean? It was, you're going to have to get up to speed, and you might have a few struggles, but, I mean, you know, at some point in the year, I mean, you guys, I mean, and you're a positive guy. You're always like, you're looking at, you know, you're a half glass full kind of guy, you know, but at some point you look and go, man, you know, we've been derailed for a while here. We got to get back on these tracks. I mean, it's got to happen soon. I mean, you know, was there any point where you guys as a team got down? I mean, you guys are, you know, flying high right now, but at some point did you guys go, man, what are we doing wrong here?
Well, Jim, for me, like, you know, I actually understand a lot what goes on with the race car, you know, plain and simple. Like, I'm very involved. I look and see what Brad, Mark, and who are 2 crew chiefs and the rest of the team are doing. And I understand. And for me, I knew it was a matter of time, but I knew the stuff that we implemented because, you know, last year we could have won a couple races in the countdown, but we just missed the opportunity, you know. And we started this year off with our same stuff, but we had to fix all the stuff that was messed up from last year because we were running out of certain things and this and that. And you just don't replenish and it works the same. You know what I mean? Especially with clutch disc. So knowing that going in, and then guys getting in new positions, they're going to be, it's going to take a little bit to get up to speed, to have the speed, the quickness to make it all happen. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we knew all that, like, okay. But then when we had other issues like parts failures and part breakage and things that we had to fix, that we just had some stuff that went bad and wrong, then I was like, oh man. And then other things started happening. It was like a domino effect. Like once one fell, a whole bunch of them started falling. But I never got frustrated because I saw my guys, and I saw Mark and Brad. We were constantly making changes to improve. It'll be a different story if we were going to do the same status quo and expect things to be different.
Yeah.
But we were making changes. So when all I saw was making changes, I was fine. Because I was like, you know what? It's a matter of time. We're going to get it. And every time we made a change, things got a little bit better. Then we changed this, it got a little bit better. Change, and you could just see us just starting to climb out that hole. And I said, all we need is a little lady luck to fall our way, and some good fortune to go our way, and we'll be just fine. And that's what happened. And we should have peeled off a win a long time ago. I dinked one up in Virginia when I red light against Steve-O, and our car would have beat him that round, and we probably would have won to win the race after that. So we should have won the race a long time ago, but it feels good that it finally all happened just now.
Yeah, well, and you've had a lot of wins in your career, but this one, we didn't even talk about this being number 50. And this is Top Fuel number 50. We're not even talking about bikes, right? We're just talking Top Fuel cars.
No.
But that to come with what you guys have gone through this year, this has got to be ranked up there as one of the sweetest victories of your career.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because for me, in general, this is a new era. And Mark's been with us for a long time. But for Brad to step up to be at the crew chief level with Mark and to get our first win. Brad was with me when I got my first win back in 2008 in Top Fuel. So the coolest part about Brad and myself is that we both got 50 Top Fuel wins together. And that's something to be said. That's something very, very special. And to actually be able to get to 50, it makes it just incredible just to make it happen, man. Like, just to win one Top Fuel win, but to win 50 is just incredible.
Yeah, and I haven't looked, and I should have before we did this, to pull up the all-time wins list or something like that. But you got to be in some rare company with people that have 50 Top Fuel wins. That's just 50 wins in anything is tough to come by. But especially Top Fuel. These are the baddest dudes in the sport.
Yes, and you just think about names like Joe Amato. You think about Larry Dixon, who's done it. You know what I mean? And Kenny Bernstein, or people of that nature. And then you think about Tony Schumacher, who's the winningest Top Fuel driver, who's in the 80s, is in his 80s. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when you start hearing those names, you're like, wow, you're part of a group now. You're part of this collective group, on the all-time win list. That's pretty darn special for sure.
Yeah. And then Caps gets number 60 the same day you got number 50. It was a good day for Don Schumacher Racing.
Yeah, man, and that's something special when you're able to celebrate with a teammate like that. We were in winner's circle together, and I could tell you one thing. It was pretty darn cool because you had Caps and Tobe. Tobe was in the winner's circle blasting some West Coast rap, some old school Tupac and Snoop Dogg and NWAs. It cracked me up. I'm like, check this out. And he's up there with his cup that's all blinged out, drinking some wine out of it in the winner's circle, and our crew's on the other side of him taking pictures. It's just a good day when you can actually celebrate that with a teammate, especially somebody like Ron, man. We won both of our championships together, man. I remember me and him won a championship together in 2015. We actually celebrated like rock stars, man. It was pretty cool. A lot of fun, and hopefully me and him could do that a lot more this year.
Yeah. Well, and I know everybody, and I've got to know quite a few, people in and around Don Schumacher Racing, and not just talking about drivers, just people that work there. And, you guys are, the best in the business, but at the end of the day, you guys are all really close. You have a good time together, and that's what I think is funny. I see some of the videos that, like, you and Caps have done and things like that on social media. It just cracks me up. You can tell this isn't something that's, like, produced for social media. This is just you guys clowning around, having a good time, being real,
Absolutely, and that's the whole cool. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it so funny too, is that it's real. You know what I mean? We ain't got to stage it. We ain't got to try to put it on. We ain't got to try to put the happy face on. It's like generally, we really enjoy time with each other out the racetracks and cutting up, and we all share the same purpose and goal, and that's to race hard and to go after championships. And when you say that, sometimes racing could beat you down. You have to have an outlet, and our outlet is just leaning on one another for support, but also cutting up and making light and making fun of things too as the time goes on throughout the year, without a doubt. And me and Caps are definitely good at cracking jokes with one another. Pretty funny.
I want to go back and talk about real quick. I mean, because it's funny. I was actually doing some TV recently at Lucas Oil Studios, and they actually had a couple of Wallies sitting there, pro stock Wallies, and I can't remember who won them in what years, but they had two of them sitting there, and it was kind of cool to hold them, and I'm like, man, these things are, this is just rad to be able to actually hold a Wally. But I want to talk about pro stock bike, man, and going back because, you made that transition and how was that, making the transition from pro stock bike to Top Fuel? I mean, there had to have been a point in your career where, you're making that transition going, man, I'm doing really well on on the bikes, but this may not work out. There's a chance that I could do this Top Fuel thing and it's just not going to work out. And then, I'm out of work, Was there any nerves with you in making that switch? I mean, I know there's things you can take in reaction time and things like that, or, you either got it or you don't, but at some point, there had to have been a little bit of nerve set in. And, I mean, you're a positive guy. You're always like, hey, I can do this. You put your mind to it. You can do it. But, was there any nerves when you made that transition?
I tell you what, it was, man, because just like you said, you hit it right on. You hit the nail right on the head where, I was putting myself in a realm that I've never been in before. Didn't know if I could really, really do it. I know I always wanted to do it, but was I going to be just not good at? Because I'm not happy if I'm just good at something. I want to be elite at it. You know what I mean? And I want to be able to go to that next level. And I was like, man, can I go over here and really make some noise? Can I come over here and compete at the level that all these guys and girls compete at? And when I got into a Top Fuel car, I stepped on the gas and I got to test it real quick. I only went to 100 feet. I was like, man, I think I could do this. I know I could do this, right? And then when I finally made a full lap in a car where I went to at least 1,000 feet, we were still racing a quarter mile, and I felt all the transitions and how the car accelerates and when it goes 1-to-1, and it was an eye-opening experience. And when I got done, I'm like, what did I get myself into? Because it was not right. It literally it scared me to death. It's like, man, at the end of the racetrack, I was checking my drawers to make sure everything was all right. Make sure I didn't need to change them. But I got over it. And then, and the guys, I never forget, Jim, the guys came in the track at first run. AB, man, you did great, man. How was it? And I was still I had this shock look in my face, like I just jumped off a cliff and I survived. That's what it felt like.
Well, and I haven't been behind the wheel of a drag car, but I can tell you, I've been at NHRA events and sat in the stands, been in the media center, and, and I watched on TV for years since I was a kid, right? But, Vegas this last year, Natalie, with Steve Torrance, she goes, Jimmy, you got to come down here. And she goes, stand right here. I'm in the water box. And, you boys unleashed those, and it was I was like, wow, like you said, you got to check yourself. And I wasn't behind the wheel. I was just standing there. But I've never felt like I'm crying. My eyes are burning, my chest, my lungs. And it feels like somebody just takes and punches you as hard as they can in the chest. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, and you guys are doing that behind the wheel. And this is coming from me, a race car driver. I'm like, dude, you guys are on another level, man. I don't think people, even in the stands, can comprehend what actually happens in one of those Top Fuel cars.
Yeah, I know, and that's the funniest part is about because our sport is the reach out and touch you sport.
Yeah.
It'll jump out, grab you, push you back, knock you down. Well, you got to remember, we're thrusting 12,000 horsepower out the side of those pipes. And when you step on the gas, the crazy part, when I'm in a car, I don't feel what you feel because we all accelerate that. That's behind us. Like feeling the thunder. When I'm sitting in the cockpit of the car, I'm like in the lightning. So you feel all the lightning, all the quickness. But the thunder, the roar, and the stuff that sets the car alarms off 2 miles away, that's all what you feel.
Yeah.
You feel the percussion of it. And I tell you what, Jim, you're absolutely right. And that's what caught me at a young age and got me so hooked on this sport because the way it just goes out and grabs you and then it just throws you down. And that's what makes our sport so special, brother. And I'm so pumped that you got to come down there and feel it firsthand. I guarantee you. I told you about my experience. You ain't telling me that you had to check your draws after that, too, did you?
Yeah, no, that was the same way. I'm just like, whoa, what did I first I'm like, wow, and then I'm like it's addicting. I'm like, I got to do this more often. Like, I got to get here. It's just like I was hooked. And if you want more of this exclusive interview with Antron Brown, it's about 40 minutes long. You need to hit up the 100th episode of Project Action, available this week on my website, Podcast One, and iTunes. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up. Thank you guys for tuning in. That Antron Brown interview, yeah, we left you hanging, and I got to tell you, there's about 20 more minutes to that, and you definitely want to hear it. Easiest way to do it, you're going to have to go to Project Action on Podcast One, download it at podcast1.com, or listen to it streaming there on my website or on iTunes. You'll get the full one. It's dropping Thursday, August 9th, so you'll be able to get that entire interview for Project Action episode number 100. Speaking of Project Action, as well as the Down and Dirty Radio Show, please go over to iTunes, subscribe to both shows, and leave a rating or review. If you leave a rating or a review, and I see that, if you leave your Twitter, Instagram, @username in the body of the review, I will follow you back on social media. So, yeah, thank you guys once again. Thank you to Polaris, General Tire, Subaru Vision Wheel, Casey Light, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Optimus, MotoShield Pro, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino in Wakeboard Island. If you're looking for a discount at Dirtfish Rally School, use the coupon code JBDirtfish. It'll give you 15% off any and all classes. I will be live on Lucas Oil TV this weekend, calling all the action as your host at Bark River for the Lucas Oil Midwest Short Course Series. So make sure and join us on Lucas Oil TV live stream both Saturday and Sunday, as I will be calling all the action. So you get a little more dose of me. And don't forget, Friday, big announcement coming out, as well as next Monday regarding my Vegas to Reno plan. So you definitely want to check those out. And, as always, be safe. And we'll see you next week. Game on.